借你还是借我？为什么英文有两个字 ？Right? Lend and borrow. Why? If you don't ask the questions, you're not learning. So I always encourage people to ask. I was reading, well, I know it makes me kind of weird, but on the train I was reading a book. Nobody reads books anymore. We're in a library. This whole building is full of these, and nobody reads them. I was reading the book, and I saw this word, and I know what it means, but I thought, well, it's kind of strange. When you look at this word, when you look at the floor, when you look at this word, why does it have 2 syllables? 为什么它是 dies? 它是2个音节，为什么？这是很特别的字。这是2个音节 right? Normally, AI makes 1 sound, right? Like aisle, faith, right? AI gives you a long vowel sound. Could be I, could be A, but usually it's 1 syllable. AI makes a long vowel sound. But in this word, it's 2 syllables. You know, there's the a, da, and then there's is, dies. And I asked why. I mean, it must be a very special word. I can't think of a lot of words that are in English. We do this. So I thought, well, I should look it up. And it's easy. There's a website that can tell you about where words come from. Now I say easy, that means I don't need to look in the library for half an hour to find it. I know where to look, right? So this is actually from the word that we use for a disc. You know what, like a CD or a DVD? You know what a DVD is, right? Right, DVD. This is a disc. Right? So, a disc just means a round, flat surface, right? That's a disc. In Latin, there was this word here. This was 2 syllables. So, this word, girls, comes from that. That's why we still have 2 syllables. We lost the sounds in the middle, but now this has turned into a fun little word that I can use to teach about in class. Everybody needs to ask questions. You need to ask about things you already know, right? It becomes a habit. If you want one good habit to improve your English, ask questions. You see something, ask. Even if you think you know the answer, ask anyway. Because that's the learning part. It's the asking the question. Even if you never get to the answer, even if the question just keeps going, the time and the work that you put into looking, that's what you learn from. Okay? So, when we take our words, we make these sounds, we put them together, we end up with a set of rules for making our sentences so that people can understand us. But English sentences and Chinese sentences are very different, right? 英文的句子、中文的句子不一样。So, why? How? Those are questions you can all ask. And then you can start to look for the answer. And then you can start to learn. Because otherwise, you're just sitting here looking at your watch until the time is up. Now, if that's all you want to do, then it's okay, you can leave. I won't tell anybody. If you really don't want to learn today, then just quietly go out. I won't tell anyone. Okay? But if you're going to be in this room with me, then I want you to learn. So, again, what do you want to learn about in English? Because there's lots I can teach you. But I have a problem, you see. I like language. I love pronunciation. 发音是很稳的。文法，我最爱的。I love grammar, how the rules work, how it all makes sense. So, if you don't ask me any questions, I'll start teaching. But I'm not going to stop because this is something I enjoy. So, you can ask, or I can tell you anyway. 真的没问题吗？ What do you find the hardest about English? 你觉得英文的最难的问题是什么？ Does anybody here want to learn English? Let me put it that way. Like some of you are here for the third time, so maybe you like actually learning. So tell me what you want to learn. I'll talk about anything, but you need to tell me what you're interested in. Otherwise, I don't know. All right, it's going to be one of those days. Okay then, well let's review. For the people who've been here before, you can help the others, the people who are here for the first time. So, let's start with sound. So, 中文的发音。 What rules can we learn from the Chinese sounds? I can't draw today. Good enough. For people who've been here before, you should be stopping me. 哪里有问题，哪里有错？ Yeah, where should the be? Why? Right? The doesn't belong down there. Why? Why? It's important to understand what your language is and what it does. Because otherwise, you could have a tool in your hand and you're not using it for anything. It's like this. I mean, for me, this is a clock. This tells me when students come to class late. All right? This is, for me, is a clock. I know you can use it for talking to people, but imagine what it would be like. You give a nice new cell phone to your grandfather, right, or your grandmother, and then you show them, you can push this button and it will tell you the time. And then the next time you see them, they're like, I have that watch you gave me. And then you ask them, how come you never answer your phone? And then they're like, it's a watch, right? If you have a tool in your hand and you don't know how to use it, it doesn't do you much good, right? Anybody see that video on YouTube where there's this old guy and he's making a salad